YouTube? It's Heretic here. One day before Thanksgiving, so we got our Thanksgiving Day special with birds and trash here. And believe it or not, this is more than just a Thanksgiving Day special, however. This is an anti-Garbodor deck that I've come up with heading into Fort Wayne Regionals. So today we're looking at Pidgeot-EX Garbodor. Pidgeot, for one colorless, does Mirror Move, which states that if this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's next turn, this attack does the same amount of damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. I also have Feather Lance for 3 colorless, which does 80 and a 20 damage worth of Snipe to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Overall, very solid colorless attacker there. We also have 2/2 Garbodor to shut down abilities. And so as long as you have a Pokemon tool attached, obviously, all abilities except for Garbotoxin become ineffective. We then have 2 Shaymins for draw power and 1 Magearna Prismatic Wave, dealing 20 damage times the number of different types of Pokemon on your opponent's bench. This is relevant in the Vileplume matchup to take out Regice primarily, something that we would not otherwise be able to deal with. Also hits Glaceon for weakness, which is kind of interesting. But for the most part, that's there to deal with Regice. So that is our Pokemon lineup. So we get into our items. We've got 4 Crushing Hammers, lots and lots of Energy Denial, like I said. 1 Enhanced Hammer as well to go with it. And then we have 1 Special Charge because we run 4 double colorless, so we can take advantage of that. 4 Max Potions. This is what makes Mirror Move really good, and this is what also really wins the Gardevoir matchup along with Garbodor, is that every time you take a hit from Despair Ray, Max Potion will take the damage off of your Pidgeot. You then reattach the 1 energy and hit them for anywhere between 110 and 190, however much they did. And as long as you have a Fighting Fury Belt attached to Pidgeot, they will not be able to one-shot you with Despair Ray, and Garbodor will keep Rattata from discarding your Fighting Fury Belt so that they can one-shot you. So we also run Silent Lab for that. We'll get to that in a moment. But Max Potion, Garbodor, got kind of a circle going on there, and then eventually Crushing Hammer can run them out of energy, and then you can just charge up to Feather Lance and start hitting 80-20s until the game is over. So it really turns this into a chess match a bit. They decide whether or not to attack you. But as long as you can keep your board set up, you really shouldn't have too much of a problem there. And then we have 4 Trainer Mail, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker. Normal stuff. No surprises there. To round out our items, 3 Fury Belt, 3 Float Stone. Enough tools for Garbodor, Fury Belts for Pidgeot. Again, pretty simple. So that's all pretty operative and pretty functional for the most part. We also have our 2 Silent Labs, which take away abilities of basics. So really just more ability denial for the first couple turns against just about every deck. I mean, Hoopa's pretty popular right now. So you got counter for Hoopa EX, Shaymin EX, anything else that might run off abilities as far as basic Pokemon go. Since we really can be pretty free with our stadium choices here. Supporters, we have 4 Professor Sycamore, just the norm again. 2 Ents, 2 Lysanders. And then things start to get a little interesting. We do have the 1 Olympia. Since we run Garb, we can throw a Fury Belt on Garb and still have ways to get it out of the active if it were to get Lysandered. 1 Delinquent. Again, we're pretty free with our stadiums, so if you get Garb set up, you can ditch the Silent Lab, discard 3 cards out of your opponent's hand, which when you're taking away their energy, it's going to force them to put more resources forward early, and you can catch them with 3 or fewer cards in their hand and delinquent the rest of their hand away, which can put just about every deck in a really bad spot. And then 2 Team Flare Grunts in addition to all those hammers. So just more ways to get rid of energy. Just really such a powerful combination to have. Also keeps most decks from being able to hit OHKOs on Pidgeot when it has 210 HP. So if you can keep them from one-shotting, you're in an awesome spot most of the time. Then we have 4 double colorless, since you might as well. I mean, you've got the second attack. Might as well try to take advantage of that. And then we also have 3 basic metals to round out our energy. So that is Pidgeot Garbodor. You might have to play around Giratina a little bit. I could see where Giratina would be a little bit of an issue, but that's why we have those basic metal energies in there. So can create kind of an interesting situation. Of course, if you take the damage, you just Max Potion and then hit them right back. That's not really going to change much. So that's pretty much your strategy against just about everything until they run out of energy. So we will go ahead and take this thing for a spin and see if we can counter the meta. Okay. So we're going against another Everyone needs the Psychic variant, Psychic colorless, Water sleeve's kind of interesting, so probably a Mewtwo. This is actually probably one matchup I wouldn't want to play. There's plenty of matchups I would want to play with this. This really just the one I probably would fear the most, actually, so that kind of sucks. But we'll see what happens. So we draw a mulligan. This deck doesn't have a lot of basics in it, so... I mean, we have, what, 2 Trubbish, 2 Shamans, 4 Pidgeots, and Magearna. So not too many things. So we'll go ahead and just send all that back. And we get the Pidgeot this time, so we can go ahead and put that into the active slot. And I guess the one thing we do have with Mewtwo is that we're basically going to limit a lot of their damage just because we have a lot of energy denial. 4 Crushing Hammers, we have Enhanced Hammer, we have Team Flare Grunt. Just a lot of ways to discard their energy. I guess if we weren't running Magearna, we could try to get cute and run Psychic Energy and use Trubbish to discard more energy with its attack. Be kind of a funny idea to have. So anyway, he's going to attach a Spirit Link to his Mewtwo and Ultra Ball away 2 Psychic Energies. Go grab Hoopa. So the floodgates are going to open. And we're, barring something crazy, I'm pretty sure we're going to see 2 Mewtwo's and a Shaman off this. Unless he's already got a Shaman in hand. Okay, and one of them is the new Mewtwo from the Evolutions expansion. That's interesting to see. Energy Absorption is kind of a nifty effect that could mess us up actually a little bit. Could help him recover from all our hammers. So we do see the Shaman here. He gets 4 cards off of it. Goes ahead and parallels us down to a 3 Pokemon bench. We don't run Hoopa, so that's fine. So I'll go ahead and Ultra Ball here, and we will discard... what do we want here? We don't really need Garb in this matchup, so I think we just... Really, we just need more Pidgeots and we need Shaman. So we'll throw one of the energies and the Float Stone here. Go ahead and just grab a Shaman. Okay, so we pretty much got what we need there. And we can Crushing Hammer, which is going to be unsuccessful, unfortunately. Don't even know if I want to attach that. I guess it doesn't really hurt. And we can Lysander up his Hoopa, try and stall a little bit, and then Shaman here for 5 cards. Okay, so we do hit another Crushing Hammer, which we can use, and again we get Tails. So we'll put another Pidgeot into play, and I think we're going to go ahead and pass the turn at that, since Mirror Move wouldn't be doing anything just yet. So we do see a double colorless energy and the Mega Evolution on his benched Mewtwo. We see Skyla here for, I'm guessing, a Float Stone. Maybe like an Escape Rope, something of the sort. Yeah, okay, so he grabs the Float Stone. Now we do have a Max Potion in hand, but we'll need to find another energy if we do that. So that's kind of the downside of having attached that Metal Energy, is that now, not only is he doing 30 more damage, which I personally would invite that part of it, but he's also going to force us to discard our energy if we want to lay our damage down. So we see discards a Shrine of Memories, which is a good sign, to Ultra Ball here. So he's going to get a 5-card setup. So he's only got 1 Shrine left, so we could try to take advantage of being able to work around damage change here. We do draw Trainer's Mail, so we can play that. We find a couple of interesting things here. Olympia, Team Flare Grunt. We're going to go ahead and grab this Flare Grunt. And then we're going to go Shaman again. So we're going to discard the 2 supporters here. And try to draw some more stuff. Not going to play the Max Potion yet because I don't know if we're going to hit another energy. Okay, we do. So that's fine. And we also have Delinquent, which could be an interesting play here. But I think we're going to VS Seeker into the Team Flare Grunt in this scenario. So we're going to go ahead and Max Potion the Pidgeot. And then we're going to Versus Seeker here for the Team Flare Grunt. We're going to get rid of his double colorless. And then we're going to attach our own double colorless here. And we're going to go ahead and Mirror Move for 130 damage. Okay, so he attaches another double colorless there. We'll see if he has the Mega Turbo. Alright, so he plays a Versus Seeker. Okay, so he's going to grab the Skyla for the Mega Turbo there. Yeah. And that's going to be enough to knock us out. Now, he could go for damage change here if he had the Shrine, but the downside then is he doesn't get the KO, so I'm not really sure how beneficial that would be. So we do see Psychic Infinity for 190. And then the second problem here is that we can't turn around and Mirror Move him right back. So we're going to bring Shaman up. I'm going to go ahead and attach the Float Stone to it. We've got this Trainer's Mail we can play. And not really sure what I want to do here. I think I'm actually just going to fail this. And then we're going to N and drop his hand down to 4 cards. See if we can't hit some hammers here. Of course not. Of course not. Alright, so we're going to attach a double colorless. And we're going to go ahead and looks like just Sky Return here. So we're going to do 30 more damage. We're going to bring the Pidgeot up, and hopefully it takes a hit and doesn't die. Haven't hit a Fighting Fury Belt yet either. Kind of sucks. So he's going to play a Trainer's Mail here. Grabs a Mewtwo Spirit Link. And we actually would have been in great shape if we had hit the belt on the Shaman, because we could have done 10 more damage and then belted again and gone for the knockout. So he plays an N here. So we still get 6. We get a Hammer, another Pidgeot, an Energy, a Max Potion. We draw pretty well. Get pretty much everything there. And so he's going to Trainer's Mail for another Mewtwo Spirit Link. So he's going to have links on both his bench Mewtwo's now. And he's going to pass the turn, so no attack. Knowing full well what is on the way. So we're going to go ahead and play this Hammer now. We get heads, so we can go ahead and throw out that double colorless that he's got. And we can go ahead and Fighting Fury Belt here as well. Now we could Olympia and do a Sky Return here, or we could just continue to discard his energy with this Versus Seeker. And let me see here. Yeah, I think I'm okay just discarding his energy right now. So we're going to go ahead and grab. So we don't have Delinquent in here, or else we could have just done that and discarded his entire hand. So we're going to go ahead and knock another energy off of there. We'll put another Pidgeot down. But Mirror Move's not going to get us anywhere, so we're going to pass the turn. And we could have tried to attach and lure him into an attack there, but since we're sitting on Max Potion, I think we're probably better off just waiting. We do see he goes and Ultra Balls into another Mewtwo, another Mega Mewtwo, that is. And, of course, his last card is a Sycamore. So he gets another Mewtwo, so he's got all 3 Mega Mewtwo's, assuming he plays a 4-3 line, which is pretty much the norm. We see a Mega Turbo onto the active. And here's a Max Elixir. I'm not really sure what he was aiming for there. He does play the Shrine of Memories down, so that's going to just completely mess us up here. He's going to heal his Mewtwo completely. Oh my god. How bad can one's luck be? So, of course, he gets the time, he gets the damage change, fully heals himself, and manages... I don't know why it moved us over there, because he definitely missed the knockout there. Now, we can Delinquent, knock the Shrine out, and force him to discard those last 2 cards he's sitting on. Alright, so he discarded... We hit a Versus Seeker and a Sycamore out of his hand. So that works. And then we're going to go ahead and Max Potion this Pidgeot. Get all of that hard-earned damage off of there. So we can kind of start over fresh. And that's only 2 Max Potions gone. So again, I'm okay with that. He draws for his turn. So he's got only the 1 card. So we're going to take 100 damage from Psychic Infinity here. And we'll draw. We hit an Enhanced Hammer. Of course, he has no... special energy there, so we're going to Olympia to try to get ourselves some draw power here. We're going to go into Shaman, attach this energy, and we're going to Sky Return here into the undamaged Pidgeot. Alright, so he's going to Psychic Infinity again, so we'll take 100 damage. And we'll draw... We get the Max Potion, so we can go ahead and drop the Max Potion here. Take 100 damage off there, drop the energy, and we will set up for 5 cards now. Alright, so we hit another energy, we get some more stuff there. Let's go ahead and Trainer's Mail. We get a Versus Seeker. So we could look for a supporter to, let's see, Team Flare Grunt. Seems kind of good right now. Delinquent is not an option because there's no stadium, so I think we just Versus Seeker into the Flare Grunt here. Oh, there, yeah, there it is. Alright, so we can go ahead and do that. We can discard one of those 3 energy he's sitting on. And then we're going to reach, I think, for a Crushing Hammer, which we're not going to find. So we do find another Max Potion, though, so we can Mirror Move here for 100 damage. Put ourselves in a decent spot. And he should be all out of stadiums here, too. So he passes the turn, no attack. So we're actually going to knock him out now. We're going to attach this 3rd energy and do Feather Lance, just enough to KO him. And we're going to get, let's see, on the heels of a Belt, I think I'm going to actually hit the Shaman here. So that's going to get us a knockout. And he's got no energy anywhere on his board now. We do hit another Team Flare Grunt. We still have that Enhanced Hammer in our hand, too. And how big was that Delinquent? Wow. Alright, so he Lysanders here. He's going to drag up the other Pidgeot. Passes his turn. Now, we can't Float Stone here. So we don't have the Versus Seeker either. So we got to try to... Let's see, we could use the double colorless to retreat. It's not a bad option, I guess. So we can go ahead and just use this to retreat, yeah. Because Mirror Move's not going to help us here. Kind of sucks to have to burn that, but we're all out of basic metals anyway. So we have 1 double colorless left in the either deck or prizes. And let's see here. We could Max Potion that too. Not really thinking that's too necessary at the moment, so we'll Feather Lance again. We'll do 20 to the other Shaman. So we've got those both in KO range now if we hit another Belt. Alright, so he does evolve Garbodor now. Not really sure what that's going to accomplish, but I guess it's kind of cool. And how many VS Seekers? He's down 2 Seekers, only 1 Lysander, so he could still Lysander 3 more times. We do have a Float Stone if he brings a Shaman out. And if we were to get Delinquent again, we could Silent Lab Delinquent here. So for now, we're going to Feather Lance for 10 shy of a knockout. We're going to 20 damage one of his Mewtwo's. And now, even if he retreats, we can just Feather Lance Snipe here for a KO. And I'm pretty sure, like I said before, that he's out of stadiums. He's got 2 Shrines and 2 Parallels in his discard. So he puts a double colorless on the Mewtwo. We're going to see an attack here. So Psychic Infinity is going to lay down 160 damage. We're going to draw a Trainer's Mail, which we'll play. We hit only an Ultra Ball, unfortunately. So we can play that. We'll discard the Trubbish here. And we're going to discard the N. I don't really need that. So we're going to see what else is in here, I guess. We do have the Special Charge in there still. That's good to see. So we're going to grab another Pidgeot. And we're going to Enhanced Hammer this double colorless off of the Mewtwo. And hope that he doesn't hit another energy. And then we're going to Mirror Move for 160 damage. And he does have... Oh my god. Okay, so he has the double colorless. He knocks us out. Gets himself down to 2 prize cards. And bulks his hand back up to 4. So we will bring up a Shaman. And we're going to Flare Grunt that energy off there. We do hit the Special Charge, so that can help us out here since that last double colorless is prized. We can put another Pidgeot down. Flare Grunt that energy off there. And so, how many energies? It looks like, okay, all 4 of his double colorless are gone now. So that's a welcoming sight to see. So we'll go ahead and we have to pass the turn here, but if we can get both of those double colorless onto a Pidgeot, we can set ourselves up. Don't really care that he armed the Garbodor there. So he gets a Psychic Energy down. And we can also, if we ever do manage to get Featherlands, we can take a double KO here, which would win us the game. Still do have a Verse Seeker left, speaking of which, he grabs a Versus Seeker there, pulls a Sycamore. So he draws himself down to 1 card in deck. And let's see if he's got a Mega Turbo here. We see an Ultra Ball. He's going to throw away 2 Sycamores. Highly doubt he grabs whatever that is. Passes the turn. Okay, so we draw Magearna, which, I mean, I guess we could send it up front if we wanted to. And so not a whole lot else we have here. We can Float Stone up here. Can Max Potion this guy. So that's what, 3 Max Potions? Okay, that's all 4 Max Potions, never mind. And then we'll Sycamore. We do hit the double colorless. We also get the Fighting Fury Belt. So we're going to knock that off of there. And we could Sky Return here. Or we could try to set up for a potential attack with Pidgeot. Since he's got no energy, he's got no double colorless left, I think we can just do this. Can retreat into Pidgeot here. Drop the belt. And we can pass our turn there. He's only got 1 card left in his deck. Now he can N and put some more stuff back in there. Plays a Mega Turbo here, so he may be able to get an attack. But I don't know if it's really enough. He's got 2 energy there. He does play the N, but it does nothing for him because he just sends 2 cards back and redraws them. Actually ends up helping us here. So we had the energy, we would take the double knockout there anyway. So wow, what a comeback as we run him out of energy. How big was that Delinquent, though? Knocking VS Seeker and Professor Sycamore out of his hand. So that was pretty crazy there. And, of course, when he gets the Garbodor out, it ends up being too late. So Pidgeot and a bunch of Energy Denial overcomes Mega Mewtwo. A really awkward matchup due to damage change. So we will take that one and run. And maybe Magearna-EX would have been a decent idea to counter that, but nonetheless, we come away with a W, and so we will go on and play another one. Okay, and it looks like we might have actually hit the Guardy matchup here. I sure hope so. This is the one this is like our money matchup. Alright, so we're not going to win the coin flip. That's okay. I mean, honestly, not really freaking out too much about the coin toss here. We start with the Magearna. So, even though it hits Gardevoir for weakness, I'm not really sure that we want to be seeing that in our first hand. And, oh, he's playing a Xerneas. Alright, well, that's not nearly as enticing as Mega Gardevoir would have been. But we still should be okay in this matchup. We have lots of Energy Denial, of course. It's kind of the theme of the deck here, so a lot of things we can work with. So we draw a Shaman off the mulligan, which will just sit in our hand. And he starts with a Dragonite and an Unknown. Ugh, that's not good. Alright, so we see a Fighting Fury Belt go onto the Dragonite. It's interesting to see. So we're going to see a Farewell Letter here. He's going to draw 1. There's a double colorless. And we can just start discarding that energy. Seems pretty good. So we're going to use a Crushing Hammer here, knock that energy out of play. And I don't even think we're going to put the Shaman down, to be honest. I think we're just going to Silent Lab. Go ahead and Float Stone the Magearna. We'll Silent Lab and then just discard the rest. Alright, and we still don't find any Pidgeots here, so we could attach an energy in Prismatic Wave, but since he has no bench, it wouldn't do anything, so don't think that's a good idea. Instead, we find an N and a Fury Belt off of Trainer's Mail, so we're going to take this N, I suppose, for now. Don't know if we'll end up using it. And then we're just going to pass the turn. Just leave Magearna in the active. And I'd be more than content just to keep discarding his energy here. Alright, so instead he's going to N. So we had, if the Crushing Hammer had failed there, if he's got no backup, I think you can honestly just team Flare Grunt right there. Instead, we do hit the Pidgeot now. We've got the energy, we've got the Fighting Fury Belt, we've got the Max Potion. So we pretty much hit everything. So we're going to put the Pidgeot down, we're going to give it the energy, and retreat Magearna. So we can just leave the Pidgeot up there for the time being. Could try to Ultra Ball here for another Pidgeot. And I'm trying to see. We could also grab Trubbish here, which might not be a bad idea. Although we do have Silent Lab currently. So we could attach this energy and try to get going into our bigger second attack. Oh my goodness. Decisions. Yeah, I think we attach this. And I think we go look for another Pidgeot. Could also grab the Trubbish. I think we grab another bird. So go ahead and put that down, and we'll Sycamore here for a fresh 7. Alright, so we do get a Crushing Hammer, which is successful. So we knock another energy off the board, put a Fighting Fury Belt down, and I think we're good there. We can go ahead and pass the turn. So we're in pretty solid control right now. We see a Max Elixir. He misses it. Okay. We'll see if he just attaches again here. Maybe plays another supporter. So he puts an energy on the benched Dragonite this time. So I'm done with this. Alright, so we draw Trubbish. We can go ahead and Trainer's Mail here. Not really sure there's anything there that I actually want. I think we're just going to leave it for now. Don't really need to Sycamore this hand. Don't really need to end. But we don't have an attack. So I guess we could probably just sit on it for now. If he had one less card, we could have delinquented, knocked away our Stadium. We see another energy go on to Dragonite there. And he's going to try to discard our energy too, so we need to be a little careful with it. Alright, so he just passes his turn. We draw an Ultra Ball. So, oh jeez. What do you do here, I guess? Only one VS Seeker is gone, so it would be 2 if we Sycamored off this one. Dang, I really don't know. This is actually this is making me think a little bit here. Alright, so we're gonna Ultra Ball, and we just take another bird. Could have actually just failed it, to be honest, but it's whatever. And then we're gonna Versus Seeker here for the Professor Sycamore. And with Silent Lab, I don't really see the need to stretch for the Garbodor right now. We do find another double colorless. Also find a Crushing Hammer. Let's definitely use that. And so we're flipping pretty well on those right now. 3 for 3 on Crushing Hammer. Can't complain. So we're going to put an energy on the benched Pidgeot since we found another double. And then we're just going to pass again. And he's got, let's see, we only went through 1 colorless, so we still have Enhanced Hammer to work with too. He puts another energy on his Dragonite. Simply passes the turn again. So, again, we don't really have much we can do. I think I will actually play the end this time, even though it gives him a couple of cards. Alright, so we do find the Metal Energy here. We also find a Enhanced Hammer. So we can go ahead and put the Metal Energy down, and we can start using Feather Lance here. And I actually like in the instance that this one has a belt, because it means we're going to have to 3-shot it, which lets us get more damage over there. He puts the Fairy Garden down. A 4th energy goes onto the Dragonite that's on the bench. And so if he doesn't, I mean, whether he brings it up or not, we can Enhanced Hammer that double colorless. Go ahead and replace the Fairy Garden with a Silent Lab. We'll E-Hammer his colorless energy away. And we'll go ahead and Trainer's Mail here. We can grab a Versus Seeker. So we could do any number of things here now. I think we just sit on it, to be honest. Can play this energy down. And then we're just going to Feather Lance again here. Get another 90-20 split. So this is kind of like old Darkrai, I guess. He plays another Dragonite down. Kind of reminds me of just like Night Spear with a whole bunch of hammers. Like way back in 2012. So he puts another double colorless on that Dragonite, plays Brock's Grit, so he's going to get all that basic energy back, which is only 2, and he gets an Unknown back. Alright, So we get Trainer's Mail, which gets us a Crushing Hammer. So we will get our 4th Crushing Hammer out, and we're going to try to knock that double colorless off there again. And okay, so we finally miss one. Well, that sucks. Alright, so I'm just going to hold these 2 energies, I think, this turn. We're going to Feather Lance here, get another 20 damage on the bench Dragonite, and we will claim 2 prize cards. And now he can knock one of our energies off, but then we can just Mirror Move for 130. We would then get KO'd the following turn, but that seems like a small price to pay. And it looks like he just drew the max potion, too. That's gotta suck. So he Fairy drops away 50. That's not too bad. Goes ahead and Fairy Gardens, so now we probably want to set up the Garb. Alright, and we do see Xerneas come down. A little late for that. And this is actually interesting, because I played against a deck just like this over the weekend that really focused on Dragonite attacking, which is kind of interesting. Alright, so it's really too bad we don't have a max potion in hand. We do have plenty of them left in the deck. I guess we could try to N. We would N into 4 cards, though. I'm going to go ahead and put this Trubbish down, give it a Float Stone. And I think we just throw this energy over here. And probably going to Sycamore here. I don't know. We could Sycamore, we could N. I think we're just going to hit him here. We'll do that next turn. Alright, so we can do the 140. And then we'll be able to Feather Lance next turn for a lot more. So he's going to Max Elixir. Should be able to get another energy on the board here. Alright, so he puts it on the Dragonite, as to be expected, I think. Now, whether or not he decides to KO us here, he could try to Geomancy if he really wanted to. I really don't see why you wouldn't go for the KO here. Instead, he does opt to retreat. Now, do we have a Lysander in here? No, unfortunately we do not. So he's going to go ahead and pull more energy with Geomancy. So he's going to make it tougher for us to hammer. We could retreat the Pidgeot here, though. And let's see. Alright, so I think... yeah, I think what we do in this instance, we actually retreat the Pidgeot. We bring out the one that has 2 energy. Team Flare Grunt on the Xerneas. And then we actually probably just sit on that energy. So we don't have a thing here. But we can Delinquent. Drain his hand as well. Oh, wait, that'd be next turn. Whoops, that was a misplay. I'm sorry, guys. Alright, so we're going to Feather Lance and bring that one Dragonite all the way down to 10 health. And we could take a 3 prize turn next round. As long as he doesn't hit another Fairy energy. I mean, he's got 6. Okay, he hit 1. 7. Okay, so that's 8. We do have another double colorless here, though. So we are going to get Hyper Beamed, but now we can just Mirror Move here for a KO. And we also have 2 energy down there. So we're going to Delinquent, get rid of his hand. Alright, so we get rid of an N and a Fairy Garden there, and then we're going to Special Charge these 2 double colorless right back into the deck. And we can Mirror Move here for a KO. Alright, so we find another Pidgeot and a Float Stone there. And we get one of those big Dragonites out of our way. And 5 energy go with it. Oh my goodness. Alright, so he brings the Xerneas back up. He can Geomancy for another energy there. He gets the Unknown, so he can get another card here. Watch him hit the Sycamore. Okay, so he hits Level Ball for another Unknown. Thinning the deck out. Just waiting for you to hit that Sycamore, dude. Waiting all day for that. Oh, so he hits the Lysander. Alright, so he brings up... that's actually a pretty smart play. He brings up a Pidgeot, no energy. It has the belt, so we can't even float it. So he goes ahead and brings out an energy there. We draw another double colorless. Okay, so that's manageable. We don't have any... we don't really have an attack right now, though. So I guess we could just attach and probably just pass. No reason in paying the retreat cost when we don't have a Mirror Move going. I don't think we have any more basic metal energy either. One's in the discard, 2 are on the board. So yeah, we're all out of those. And he Lysanders again, so he brings up the Pidgeot with no damage this time. That's fine. I mean, we can just throw another energy on it. And we also get the Lysander here, so we can bring up the Dragonite and get a head start on it. So we're going to attach that, and we're going to Lysander up this Dragonite. And hit it for 80 damage. And then if he decides to Hyper Beam us, we can Mirror Move him for the game here. Unless he hits the Fairy Drop. So he hits the Xerneas Break instead. Alright, now he would have to retreat here. He does instead, he just Hyper Beams us for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Because that just wins us the game. So we don't even need the Max Potion here. We can just Mirror Move here, do 130, and that'll end the game right there. So I'm not really sure the logic behind there, but he didn't really have much else he could have done. He would have done 1, 2, 3, 4. If he had been able to get another energy, he would have only done 120 with Xerneas Break. Still not enough. So either way, we come up with a big W there. So interesting deck. Like I said, I played against one of those when I was running Garbodor over this weekend. So it's actually not the first time I've seen that Dragonite featured attack kind of deal going on there, but not really sure how I feel about it. It's interesting for sure. It's definitely unique. But anyway, that's our Pidgeot Thanksgiving Day special. Pidgeot, Garbodor, you know, got birds. You end up with a bunch of trash when you're done. Got Magearna for a little surprise. So Mirror Move does its job. Feather, or whatever, Featherlance, I think it's called, comes in handy. So happy Thanksgiving to all those celebrating it. May it be filled with family, food, and football. Go Colts. I don't expect us to win against the Steelers, but it'd be Thanksgiving Day treat if we did. So that's Pidgeot Garb, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.